Hello everyone, welcome back to the lab and welcome back to the TCG Burst of Destiny Season North America Metagame Report. This is will be the week 3 and week 4. So let's just rewind what happened in the past 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks, the only new product being released was the Maximum Gold. However, Maximum Gold mainly being a reprint set as well as very few enemy cards. It doesn't really have a big impact to the format. So the results from the past 2 weeks are still relatively similar to the weeks before. And then so the weekly report for the past 2 weeks covered 5 tournaments. On the previous weekend, there's the Pack LCS on Dueling Book with 420 players. And that weekend was also the OTS tournament. So there's a lot of OTS tournament happening, which are locals, and because of that, there were no remote regionals. That's also why I decided to include kind of skip that week and just combine this 2 weeks together for this weekly report. And then in the past weekend, there were 3 remote regionals from Core TCG, 1UP TCG, and the side deck. And then in RL, there is a Gamer's Choice Grand Reopening Tournament happened in New York City with 173 players. So I collected the top 8 from all the remote regionals and the top 16 from the LCS and Gamer's Choice tournament. And here is the pie chart. As you see, the biggest two stay pretty much the same, with Sorso taking almost a quarter of the format, and then Lyrilless Tri-Brigade following taking 16%. And then after that, after the big two, the following decks has been shuffling quite a bit. The previous weekend has a little bit of Drytron, a little bit of Flow Under Ease, and this week it's more Invoke Dogmatika, more honestly a Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, the DPE version of Invoke Dogmatika. And that followed with different variants of Tri-Brigade and a little bit of Sky Striker, which all of the Sky Striker are DPE variants. And then the detailed breakdown, as you see here, there's 14 Sorso, 13 Tenyi, 1 DPE, and then 9 Lyrilless Tri-Brigade, 6 DPE Invoke Dogmatika, 6 Tri-Brigade variants with different version of it, 4 DPE Striker, and then followed by a bunch of others like Dragonlink, Outlet, Flow Wonders, PK, Orcus, Adamancipator, Ultrageist, Drytron, Machina, Madolching, Pendulum Magicians, and one unknown who has not responded my messages, so I don't know what that player is played. So I collected 55 out of the 56 possible decks, one being an unknown. And then I found out something very interesting for this past 2 weeks report is that after the big two, after Sorso and then, or even including part of the Sorso, and after Sorso and Lyrilless Tri-Brigade, the whole format has a lot of the DP decks in the meta now, and these decks are kind of immediately just followed by Sorso and Lyrilless. As you see in this the second breakdown, out of the 56, well, I included unknown into without DP, so there are 39 decks that doesn't have DP, and there's 17 decks with DPE. This is exactly about 30% of it. And if you break down DPE decks, you'll see it's pretty much immediately followed by the big two, such as Invoke Dogmatika, Sky Striker, and 3 lists of Tri-Brigades, and then other variants. So this is the kind of the breakdown for the past 2 weeks. And then I guess first of all, I'll still introduce pretty much the most kind of dominant deck for the past 2 weeks, which is the Tenyi Sorso. Hani Jawari finished 7-1 out of 8 rounds and third place after Swiss in the Gamer's Choice Grand Reopening Tournament, happened the past weekend. He finally he ended with a top 8 finish with the Tenyi Sorso. As you see in this Tenyi Sorso, it's like still slightly different than before. Previously, most people decide to have Arch Nemesis Protos in the side deck instead. However, now there are more players, including Hani, decide to main deck Protos. I guess the reason is specifically against light or dark attribute decks, which are Drytrons and Phantom Knights mainly. And that's potentially the reason why those two decks, especially Drytron, were doing good on the previous weekend, but actually has like a dramatic fall again in terms of the tournament results. So this is I guess the reason why Drytron's been falling, because the Tenyi Sorcerer players have been choosing to run Protos in the main deck. And then in the side deck, there's Chaofeng Phantom the Yangzing, which usually Chaofeng in this deck is synchro summon by using light attribute. So this is another thing, another reason why Drytron just have like a relatively bad matchup against the Tenyi Sorcerer deck, and causing it has dramatically fall in terms of the number of tops. And Chaofeng, in addition to it, usually be summoned on the 5th summon, which means Chaofeng is a very useful tool for the Tenyi Sorcerer deck to combat hand traps, especially including Nibiru and sometimes Effectivator. And then another new card, or relatively new card, is the Heavenly Dragon Circle. To As you see in the list, it's a more recent addition to the deck. Heavenly Dragon Circle, combined with like any other Tenyi monsters, can be used to tribute. So Heavenly Dragon Circle says tribute a warm monster to search a different warm monster, and if tributed a warm normal monster, you get to special summon. You get to special summon instead. And using that, it's a very effective tool to like access to Source of Moye, which is one of the most important starter in the deck. It also can allow Moye to play around common hand traps such as Effect Veiler or Infinite Impermanence on Moye's effect, because you would just chain the quick play, Heavenly Dragon Circle, tribute the Moye, still resolve the effect to summon a token, then to use Circle to search the Water Tenyi, Tenyi Spirit Shantana, and this one is a level 4 non-tuner war monster, which now they're just source of token on the field, so you can just special summon Shantana afterwards. And this actually a very effective way to play around common hand traps in the meta for the Tenyi Sorcerer deck. So this is for Tenyi Sorcerer. It's overall still similar to before in the past 2 weeks. Next, there is Lyrilless Tri-Brigade. This one is still majority the same. However, there's slightly different. With a record of A1 and first place after Swiss and a first place after 4 rounds of Top Cut, Dueling Book player Arcado finished with a very amazing result with his Lyrilless Tri-Brigade, featuring a package of Small World. Small World is actually a new trend happened during the LCS, where some of the players will run this package and with the addition of one copy of Dynatherium. Dynatherium being a wind beast type level 4 monster, can build up a bridge for Small World to swap any Lyrilless monster for any Tri-Brigade monster, or vice versa. As Dynatherium shares only winged attribute with any Lyrlusk or Tri-Brigade Nerval, shares only beast type with Tri-Brigade Keras and Tri-Brigade Kit, and shares only level 4 with Tri-Brigade Fractal. So this is a new way to play to like include Small World in this deck. And if like for example the Lyrilless player already opened the full combo for all the pieces needed for the combo, it's also possible to swap like some hand traps for more effective hand traps in this deck. And Tri-Brigade Oath is another way that to being played right now in the Lyrilless strategy. It's a way to answer board breakers such as Forbidden Droplet and Dark Rule No More that normally cannot be answered. Um, Oath it can be milled by Tri-Brigade Kit as a because it's another Tri-Brigade card, and it's a trap card that activate in the graveyard. It's extremely effective at preventing the ending board of Lyrillus being wiped out by like a single blowout card, making the final board much more threatening compared to like before. Then after that, there is the DPE version, Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer version of Invoke Dogmatika. This is also a top list from the pack LCS. Dueling Bow player Bank 2 KW piloted and finished also A1 and fourth place after Swiss, and eventually top 4 at the LCS with like Drytron and Shadow's kind of losing popularity in the meta, less and less players will have like a good extra deck cards that will benefit off Dogmatica Maximus. Therefore, running Dogmatica Maximus will usually resolve and guarantee access to Shadow Schism without worrying about opponents sending any extra deck monster to disrupt it, such as Elder Entity Entus and or Cyber Dragon Nova combined with Invoked Makaba. And in addition to it, there can be only one is another card that's being played in the list. It's a very devastating tool against the several other decks in the format. For example, when there can be only one is resolving, Sorcerer monster cannot activate their effect to generate tokens. Tenyi monster cannot even link into the Tenyi monk to generate like a non-normal monster, non-fun monster on the field to trigger their graveyard effects. Um, and then Phantom Knight players cannot really put any two Phantom Knights on the field, and the Lyrilless monster cannot put like two Lyrilless monster to exceed summon. So it's a very effective way to disrupt other decks in the format, while the DPE Invoke Dogmatica deck itself doesn't need to put two of the same attribute on the field or two of the same type on the field, and so it's a very popular thing to be used right now in this strategy. And after that, there's another top list. Avery Foster finished 7-1, fourth place after Swiss in the Gamers' Choice Grand Reopening Tournament, and eventually got a top 16 after Top Cup. He played a DP version of Tri-Brigade, however, with a small package of Dogmatica Maximus and the Deer Servant. So, Tri-Brigade has not really been covered in the past couple reports. It's always like in the pie chart, but just never big enough to be kind of introduced. Rescue Cat is like a powerful one card starter that has been played for a while since the Bandless nerfed or kind of almost killed the Zodiac engine. And then Rescue Cat now is after the introduction of Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer, Rescue Cat is a one card that can that can end it on both DPE and Tri-Brigade Revolt. And in addition to it, Tri-Brigade, the Fairjet has the ability to just draw a card and send any card back to the deck, which usually you are able to resolve it before resolving Fusion Destiny. Therefore, it gives the deck more ability to just play around or play with the least amount of risks of the fusion material. Since every time you draw it, you can always just draw another card with Fairjet and shuffle back the fusion material, the D Hero Celestial and D Hero Dasher back to the deck, then resolve Fusion Destiny. So then with more Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer in the format, Tri-Brigade variant decks has like another advantage because they have access to the Doom Eagle in the extra deck, the Link 3. This is a very effective tool as the deck can just force out DPE with other cards. then easily access to Doom Eagle with any other Tri-Brigade cards, and then use Doom Eagle to shuffle back DPE in the current player in their own turn, and during opponent's turn, shuffle back the Celestial or Dasher to disrupt those effect. So this is almost a one card, just kind of single card handling DPE after forcing out. So this gives the Tri-Brigade or almost any other Tri-Brigade or any Tri-Brigade strategy a very effective way to combat DPE in the current format. And Avery also decided to run the Dogmatika engine with Nadirs and Maximus, similar to Invoke Dogmatika. Maximus in the current format has like less chance to benefit opponents, and then however in the Tri-Brigade deck, there's a lot of targets that can be sent with for both Maximus and Nadir, mainly being Fairjet to draw a card to reorganize hand, um, Shurag to search any level any tri-beast type monster based on the number of banished tri-beast monster in the game so far. And then the best part about it is to send Bear Boom to have another access to Tri-Brigade Revolt, and Nadir can still be activated after Fusion Destiny has been resolved, because it just doesn't require to summon Bear Boom. And this is another way to access to Tri-Brigade Revolt, and to like playing around all the restrictions of Fusion Destiny and Bear Boom. So this gives like the addition of the Dogmatika package. Going first has more ability to search Revolt, and going second can just search Entus or just 4-star cards like how the Deer server usually being played. So this is a new way to play the DP version of Tri-Brigade, and Avery did good results with it. So this is for the past 2 weeks. As everyone see, the top two are maintaining the same with Sorcerer and Lyreless Tri-Brigade. And then the following decks are usually or are mainly just different DPE variants of the deck. And DPE himself is taking 30% of the format already. Uh, so uh, so within the next couple of weeks, there is the Brothers of the Legend, and there's also the YCS. So there will be more interesting datas for the current format, and then um, hope everyone like this report. This past 2 weeks, it took a little bit longer to gathering all the datas, but eventually we still made it. And if you like this kind of video, I will most likely trying to keep it up weekly, and then if you feel helpful, learn anything, have some like useful data, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video to your friends, your testing groups, whoever you think will be helpful for them as well. And as usual, the link to all the collected deck lists, the link to the Google Doc will be in in the description section under the video. So if you needed anything, feel free to just access to the Google Doc to search it by yourself. And then the picture version of this video will be posted either later today or the day after. So, and this will be it. This will be the meta report for week 3 and week 4 combined, and then next week gonna be another one. Then we'll have like a big YCS weekend. So this will be it, and I will see everyone in next week's report or any other videos. And see ya, everyone in the lab. Bye bye.